You're listening to The Wally Show podcast. You can hear the live version every weekday morning through the WayFM app or following along with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where Wally teaches and where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. This podcast is also brought to you by United Faith Mortgage. Let their direct lender advantage save you time and money.
Uplifting WayFM.
Here's what's going on today.
Today is the day people like me have been waiting for. It's the first day of fall.
I never feel that. Like I don't feel days and like this is it. So what's so exciting about the first day of fall for you?
Well, because we get to celebrate like sweaters and boots.
You
and
gonna wear a
anything
sweater
pumpkin.
tomorrow? It's 90.
No, it's not.
No, it'll
I
be in
looked
like
at the weather.
it'll be in the
Yesterday
70s.
it was
What?
in the 90s. Yeah, today starting, it's going to stay in the 70s.
What?
We had 3 random crazy hot days in a row, and now it's supposed to start dropping.
We just got it out of our
See?
system.
Yeah.
See?
so
Then you
all
need
right.
to pull out your sweaters.
Yay fall!
Yes.
Who knew?
Well, anyways, we also need to practice some caution, though, when it comes to driving, thanks to the sun. So you'll start noticing now more sun glare on your drive in and out of the office. And that's due to the sun now rising directly in the east and setting directly in the west. And because most major roadways are constructed east to west, many will find themselves being blinded by the light.
There are a couple times I've been driving where I could not see. It's like the sun hits the windshield and you're like, how are we all still moving forward? Like,
I know.
it does not feel safe.
No, it definitely isn't. But there are a few tips and tricks on things you can do to reduce the glare so you don't find yourself in an accident. So the first one is an obvious: slow down. Because if you're struggling to see, everyone around you is struggling as well. And 2, you kind of need to watch out of the people around you, because if they can't see,
Right.
there's a higher chance of them hitting you. So just slow down and pay attention. Also, keep sunglasses handy. I know sometimes I catch myself not having a pair of sunglasses in the car when I wish I had. So these are times where you definitely need it.
See, I have transition lenses because I wear glasses all the time.
yeah.
But they don't darken in the car because the sun or the windshields are designed to cut out some of the glare, and so the UV rays, and so my glasses won't darken. So I'd have to wear those old man sunglasses that are like square and go over your
Yes.
Bring
glasses.
them back. Bring them back.
Yes, bringing glasses back.
And
Yeah.
then finally, Windex the inside and outside of your windshield. When you do this, it creates less glare. So it's not as dirty. And
Okay.
so with the clean glass, you'll see better.
That actually makes sense because my truck, it tends to be a little dirty on the inside, and when light hits all of that dirt on the window, it refracts or whatever they call it, but it spreads out and it causes more glare. That I would have never thought of cleaning my windows.
Well, there you go. Now you got to do it.
Safety first.
With
all
your
right.
sweater on and a pumpkin spice latte in hand.
Yes, exactly. Fall's here, y'all. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show, and I was at small group the other night, and fortunately everyone at my small group knows that I have a weird working schedule, and I get super tired like late in the afternoon, early evening, and so we were going through the book of Revelation, which is quite a page turner, and I was starting to get confused, and my mind was wandering a little bit, and so I kind of lowered my head to really ponder deeply
Okay.
what was being discussed. And
Sure.
we started somewhere, I think we were around chapter 2, and I woke up and everyone was just standing up already, like getting dessert and talking about life, and I'm like, what happened? Like, is it a rapture? Or like, and we're all in heaven now? Like, I fell so hard asleep. But God bless them all. They just let me sleep. That was what was really nice of them. No one woke me up.
Wow. And that's amazing that you can actually fall asleep in
I can.
a situation where there are multiple people in a room talking.
But everybody talks so quietly at small group, and they use like God voice. You know, and another thing about this is I think that revelation is very, very important in our lives. Like, oh my goodness, I'm going out. You know?
Like you're fainting or something.
Yeah, like no one's talking loudly. And so yeah, it was very calming. They should all read audiobooks to people or like be part of that sleep app. And so I went out. I was dreaming. I was probably twitching. I was
snoring,
so hard out.
drooling.
I know. And when I woke up though, I didn't know where I was. Like it was one of those weird things. thinking like, where am I? And why are these people standing around? And so I know. I'm not the only one that has done this before.
I can feel this narcolepsy slide to another nightmare.
So I am curious, like, where is one of the most awkward places you've fallen asleep? Like, if you're a parent, you run on very little sleep, and I could see moms, like, falling asleep standing up somewhere, like in a grocery line, and someone having to bump them, you know, like, because you are running on nothing.
Yes.
Fumes.
Yes.
855-33-WAY-FM is the number. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. I'd love to hear your story. It would make me feel better about falling asleep in a small group, about the awkward place that you fell asleep. 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take yours now. Art, I'm curious, have you ever fell asleep in an awkward place?
Actually, yeah, I have. I was in the military back in the 80s, and I was on an aircraft carrier, and we do 12-hour shifts. So it was really, really late in the evening, early morning, and we were doing a takeoff, or a helicopter takeoff. I'm sitting there leaning against the helicopter because I'm so tired. I actually fall asleep while they're trying to lift this helicopter off the flight deck. So my signalman, he comes in and says, Art, you need to wake up. We got to get this helicopter up in the air.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I thank you for your service, but apparently you weren't good at it. No. I get it, man. You guys in the military, yeah, they run you hard, and so I do actually appreciate your service, and that's pretty funny, dude. I appreciate the call, too.
All right, man. You take care. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, Judy, you're up. Where's that awkward place you fell asleep?
I fell asleep while I was in a staff meeting. I was leaning up against the wall, and I fell asleep, and I started sliding down the wall, and my friend had to wake me back up.
Oh, that's so great.
Oh, gosh. You know what? Your story kind of reminds me of that Bible story. Do you remember where it was like Jesus was talking with his disciples and there was like a guy that fell asleep in the window and then he fell? Do you remember this?
I don't.
Oh, I got to find it. Okay. Do you remember this?
It sounds like Humpty Dumpty. Are you confusing things?
No. Nursery rhymes with the Bible?
I don't know. I don't know what you read.
Gosh. You obviously don't read the Bible.
So, Jonathan, have you ever fallen asleep in an awkward place?
It has, actually. My wife had been in labor for 18 hours when I fell asleep, and the epidural wore off about 20 minutes after that.
Do you realize, Jonathan, how much your wife probably would have killed for a nap at that time? And there you are, just rubbing it in her face.
Oh, I do. She has never let it go, even 8 years later.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
I don't know, man. Like, because like she's laying down. In Jonathan's defense,
no.
Yeah, she's just lying around.
She's literally about to push a human out.
Yes,
and you're doing nothing.
And his feet hurt. I get it. You need to lay down.
I can't. Coffee shops, poolside, back porch, picnic table at the park, at your kid's soccer practice. Just about anywhere can be your classroom when you decide to go back to school online at Colorado Christian University.
I know I got my degree online, and I actually did a homework at a campsite. I was sitting around a campfire writing a paper. That is where I did some of my work that weekend. So life doesn't have to stop just because you go back to school to better yourself. You can work towards this future and this goal that you want to accomplish, and it doesn't have to totally consume you or derail your normal life with friends, your family, or what have you.
And you can earn accredited degrees from Colorado Christian without ever setting foot on campus.
So there really shouldn't be an excuse to not going back to school. If it's something you really want to do, you can do it. And all you have to do is go to ccu.edu/Wally to learn more. And the other really important thing is that Colorado Christian is committed to cultivating the mind without compromising the heart. So check it out, ccu.edu/Wally.
Uplifting Way FM.
Here's a little something to help set the tone for the day. It's The Wally Show.
There are two families in Alabama that are celebrating today the return of two of their soldiers held captive by Russian-backed forces after they volunteered to fight with Ukraine. They were captured, and they've kind of been held, and it's been a political battle to get them released, and they were both finally released.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. I didn't see that coming, to be honest with you.
And sometimes you don't know if they'll come back, physically okay, mentally mentally okay.
Well, here's the weird twist on it. You think, man, way to go, government. You guys crushed it. Yay, our government's doing it right. It was actually the Saudi Ministry of Foreign Affairs that got them released.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? They had mediation efforts on behalf of the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and it led to the release of 10 prisoners of war, including these 2 U.S. nationals and some other people that they were holding. So, like, our State Department didn't even do this.
Wow. So they're doing our work for us.
I guess so, but it's needless to say, these families don't care how it happened. They're just thankful that their loved ones are coming home, and so are we, obviously. Did you remember that lottery that topped $1 billion a few months ago? Well, 1 ticket won, and 2 people have stepped forward to claim the prize. No, it's good, It's good, because they agreed if we win, we'll split it, and they're actually holding to that.
Oh, yay!
Because you know how money makes people act the fool?
Crazy.
Yeah, and so these people said, because we do this all the time with our friends, like, oh, if we won, we'll split it, And then when you win and you're holding the ticket, you're tempted, And so it's really cool that they actually decided to do that. They're taking the lump sum payment of $780 million. So after taxes, that comes down to about $390, and then split, they each walk away with about $195 million. But like when I look at the numbers, I'm so glad I didn't win. It's just not worth it at that point. It gets dwindled down so much.
You're saying that $190 million isn't worth
$195 million. Yeah, it's not worth the headaches at that point.
I'll take it.
That's a headache I would crave.
Don't cheapen yourself, guys. Like the government took half of that. Fight that.
No, I'm good.
Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show, and it seems like they have a day for everything, and today, what is Dear Diary Day, Rock?
Yeah, Dear Diary Day, and I think you'd probably be surprised at the amount of people that find keeping a diary or keeping a journal something therapeutic. I know for me, I don't keep a diary. I don't have this thing that's got a lock on it with a little key or whatever.
And a unicorn on the cover?
No, that is not the case. That could
how I picture it, actually.
No, I have the adult version. I just have a journal that I keep.
So you do journal? Do you journal daily?
I do.
Or weekly?
I found no. I'd say probably daily, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
For some reason, journaling for me has helped just kind of get the spaghetti thoughts, the whirling thoughts that I have in my head, get them down on paper and then kind of see them for what they are.
Really?
So recently, in one of my recent entries, I put, Dear Diary, today I feel overwhelmed. Friendships are hard to keep when people move away or become parents. So this is something that I've battled with since my 20s, is that you create these close relationships with friends, and then as life should be, they move on because they find a spouse, or they move to a different state, and then it becomes harder to keep those friendships going. Sure. And sometimes I have those moments where I'm like, oh, I wish they were here so I could share that with them. And I could call them, but then, life gets in the way and they're trying to listen to you, but they got a screaming kid in the back, and you just feel like sometimes you're a pest instead of a friend.
Oh, that's it. That's interesting. And that's interesting that you journal every day. Could I read your journal, please?
No, not at all. Mm-mm.
I bet there's some stuff in there about me.
And diaries. Journals and diaries are not meant to be read by anyone.
That's true. Okay, well, let's do this then, okay?
Dear Diary.
So, Dear Diary, like Betty did, Dear Diary, I feel, okay? So, finish that sentence, And like Betty said, maybe you haven't even written this down yet because you don't have a journal, but in going through the process of talking about it, it can start that process of change for you too. Like when you just cop to something and get it out, it feels better.
Yeah, maybe you're like me and you can't be honest with yourself out in the open, but for some reason when it comes to writing out how you feel, you can kind of get to the root cause of what's causing those feelings.
So maybe this is something that you've journaled about in the past, or maybe this is something you're just feeling right now. We'd love to have it. So just fill in this blank. Dear Diary, today I feel. And then where does it go from there? 855-33-WAY-FM. That's how you can always be on the show. You don't have to use your name, too, if it's super personal. But we'd love to hear your story now. 855-33-WAY-FM.
So for you, Tamara, how would you finish this sentence? Dear Diary, today I feel what?
Dear Diary,
I feel hopeful.
Oh, that's good. I was thinking hopeless. Although, because a lot of times we think of diaries as like, I get all my brooding thoughts out and all my pain, and I exercise it that way. I love that you're like, I feel hopeful. Why?
Just because, God has me in a season of waiting, and He's had me there for the last year. And just I kind of go through my notebook on my phone, and I do have a prayer journal that I am in constantly, and just how He's answered those prayers. And, I'm very hopeful, because I have a God that at the end of the day, He still sits on the throne.
That's such a healthy perspective because you're in a time of waiting, you said. And so you could look at this as like, I'm waiting and I'm losing hope because nothing is happening. And God, where are you? And you're just not showing up like I thought you should. Or you can look at it as, man, I'm really hopeful to see what God does. What is the future going to hold? I can't wait to see what you do, Lord. And I think that that's just a matter of shifting your perspective. And that's not easy to do, but I think it's really super healthy.
And Tamara, what you're doing about keeping that list of what God has done, the prayers that He has answered, I think that's a practice that all of us should do, because it's so easy to remember all the hard times, but to remember the good times, we kind of need to keep a list.
Definitely.
Dear Diary, today I feel. How would you fill that in?
Yeah, so the first thought that came to my mind was, I feel like everyone else is doing it right. And I just feel like sometimes that's an undercurrent, in our world, even as we have all the crazy social media and so forth.
It's crazy you bring this up because Betty Rock and I, during the last song, were literally just talking about this and how Betty's like, am I doing like my life and my job right? Am I in the place I'm supposed to be? Did I not take chances? And I'm like, girl, you're right where you should be, and you've grown and you're amazing.
And I think too, and Tanya, you've probably learned this, and it's something that I daily have to remind myself, is to keep my eyes on my own road and not start comparing myself to others. Like you were mentioning earlier about social media and how that can send you on a spiral. And I think that's the same for everybody. It almost feels like everyone found the missing puzzle piece and you're still searching, But
you can't even find the puzzle.
I can't. I'm so lost. But I think that feeling comes when we start comparing our own specific individual lives with others.
Yes, and in fact, what's funny is I was journaling while I was waiting for you guys, and what I wrote down was, sometimes we see that there's a feast in someone else's life, or we perceive there's a feast, and all we have are loaves and fish. But what miracles can God do with our loaves and fish? So it's so true. We just have to look at what do we have in Him and not let the other noise get in the way.
Melissa, how would you, in honor of Dear Diary Day, finish this sentence if you were making an entry? Dear Diary, today I feel.
It would be, Dear Diary, today I feel peace.
Man, I was expecting a lot of people to be like, I feel anxious, and because we always talk about how messed up the world is and stuff, and I love that we found more people finding peace or hope. So why would you say peace?
Well, a little bit of my story is about 4 years ago, my husband and I, we both did children's ministry together. We were both the children's pastors together, and it was wonderful just getting to pour your heart into kids. And it was Easter when I just remember break down crying because I didn't get to do an Easter egg hunt, color eggs with my own kids at home. And it was just an overwhelming sadness in my heart.
Oh, I get that. So you step away from the ministry and taking care of other people's kids to focus on your own. That's healthy and that's so smart, but it comes at a cost, does it not?
Oh, absolutely. It's been about 3 years, and I battled with it because knowing that it's not no forever, but it's no for now.
Exactly. And Melissa, I think that's a message that a lot of women hear from the world is saying, you got to get out there, you got to prove your worth. And, sometimes that's not the case for everyone. Sometimes your calling is to be a mother to your children. And I think there's no shame in that. And it just goes to prove, too, that through our faith, we can find peace for whatever path God takes us on.
Absolutely.
Uplifting Way FM.
He's wise beyond his years.
I can't really tell, but it seems like he's very good.
Here's Gavin.
I think that when it comes to flying, most people have very memorable flights that they've been on, but usually that memorable flight is not memorable for a positive reason.
Yeah, there's no good reasons. Yeah,
it's usually AC was out, baby was crying to me, or crying next to me for the last 3 hours. But there was one Southwest flight full of passengers on their way to Hawaii that probably will never forget an experience that they had. And it was a good experience. So what happened was Southwest Airlines gave every passenger on the flight a ukulele.
Yes, ukuleles are the happiest instrument. It's hard to write a minor song that's like down and brooding on a ukulele. They feel so good.
Yes, and on that flight, along with those ukuleles, there were instructors on the flight that taught the passengers how to play a song called Hello Aloha, How Are You? And it sounds like it was a little bit of fun for these passengers.
1, 2, here we go. It's
Oh, they're all just playing it like all willy-nilly there. Like that's one of those things that in theory sounds really fun. Like when it's like this.
It's nice and peaceful. Mm-hmm. I could fall asleep to that.
But then when you've got a bunch of people like going...
their first time.
Please make it stop.
Exactly. Like I can't take any more.
I've heard that ukulele is one of the easier instruments to learn.
It is
a stringed instrument at least.
Yeah. There's you can play a bunch of songs with 4 chords on a ukulele.
Okay,
yeah.
that's awesome.
So it'd be fun.
Makes sense that you could try and do something like that.
Yeah.
It was a promotion with Guitar Center involving a claim that anyone could learn the ukulele really quickly. The nice part of it is that this was a 6-hour flight, so you think, oh, that might be annoying to listen to ukulele for 6 hours, but they did hold it to just a 20-minute lesson for those people going to Hawaii.
Yeah, because 6 hours of ukulele, those things become weapons at that point.
Yeah, put it away.
Oh, well, there you go. And to usher you out today with this news, just feel the island breeze on your rock.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, you would have not been fun on
going.
that. Yeah, you would not have been fun on that plane. I would have been like, "This is the best ever." I would have led everybody like, "Okay, he's stopped. I'm going to take over now." Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and man, when you are blessed with a child, it's just happiness.
It's a blessing
every day. Every day is great. There's nothing bad at all. It's always good. Right now, parents that have just yelled at their kids are like, really? Come talk to my kid about
Or they're
this.
hearing Baby Shark for the 30th time.
Yeah, exactly. That hour. So being a parent has some challenges. And Betty Rock had come across this list of things that parents secretly dislike about being a parent.
Yes. Yeah, and a couple of those were your weekends are ruined.
Very
and I
true.
get that because you can't sleep in.
Yep.
And you really can't have plans for yourself because they probably have basketball practice or baseball practice or dance classes.
Very much so.
Another one is the cute milestones. So, yeah, they start talking, but
they won't stop.
They won't stop. And they're like, why? No.
Mom,
Why?
Mom,
Why?
Mom.
Yes.
That is a really good one.
Or when they start walking, well, now you can't sit down.
That was one thing. I want her to take her first steps. I want her to take her first steps, and then you're like, how can we hold her down and pin her down again? Because before you could leave her on the middle of the floor and do stuff, and you just make sure she didn't roll over.
Yeah, exactly. And one other one was the mess. So if you're one of those people that likes to keep things clean, I know I do. I like to keep things clean and organized. That's impossible when you've got a kid in the house. It's like a tornado just running around.
Absolutely. Now, it's easy to focus on the negative with the kids. Absolutely. And I get it. There's a lot of stuff that comes with being a parent that you're like, oh, this is not fun.
I didn't prepare.
Yeah, no one fully prepares you for being a parent. I can promise you that. But there are some really great things about it. There's a lot of the good outweighs the bad, 100%. And a lot of times, the older they get, you tend to forget a little bit of the bad and just remember the good. And so I am curious, what is that thing that you found that you absolutely love about being a parent? For me, when my daughter was little, watching her process concepts and things that she was starting to put together things, that was fascinating to me. And then doing it all with a little lisp, oh, so cute. there were words that she still says wrong to this day. Library, I'm not going to change that in her.
Oh, she's in her 20s.
She's 24. And
you should do something.
Let's go to the library, kid. It's so good, and I love it. And so what is that thing that you just absolutely love about being a parent? 855-33-WAY-FM. You might make somebody feel better about okay, there's some good coming. 855-33-WAY-FM. What's that thing you just love about being a dad?
When they get old enough to help with chores around the house.
Yes, yes. Or when they think getting the remote is a fun game for you. Like, hey, would you run over there and get the remote for Daddy, please?
Wes, what is that chore that you're always wanting your kids to do?
Help me mow the lawn.
Yes. I had a daughter, and so she has never mowed a lawn. And I would have liked to have had a son just for that because I hate mowing the lawn that much.
I had a friend once in high school that she said her dad was teaching her how to use the riding lawnmower. And the very first day she was left to do it on her own, she rolled over a tree stump and broke the whole thing.
I believe it. Yeah. See?
Oh, well, they ran over extension cords and wire and all kinds of stuff, but it was worth it to have the help.
I just recently got a riding lawnmower, and my daughter's lucky that I waited so long to get one because I would have had a riding lawnmower before I had a kid. It's that great.
That's right. That's right.
What is that thing you just love about being a mom, Wendy?
So my baby is 20 months old, and every time I look at him, he just gives me the biggest smile. So that always melts my heart.
It makes everything in the day go away. Like when you come home and you might have had a challenging day at work and your kid, like a puppy, just meets you at the door and just wants to see you and hang out with you and just love you. It's so great.
That is true.
What's that one for sure thing that you know will make him smile?
I say maybe whenever I say to him, I love you, and he just looks at me and
you know what?
smile.
The way you just said it, I smiled. You know, I could see how that's super cute. All right, Lindsay, you're up. What is the best part about being a mom?
Best part of being about a mom is I got to see both my girls accept Christ at 4 and to see their love for wanting to be able to read scripture and just praying for their friends at school.
There's something great about those little folded hands, and you watch them pray, and they're just praying about anything and everything, and it takes them forever to, you know, get to the point, and your food's getting cold, but it's the best thing in the world, isn't it?
Absolutely it is.
I still remember one of my daughter's favorite prayers. I used to be on bedtime duty, so I would take her upstairs and we would pray. And so she was praying one night. She was like, Dear Jesus, please give me a good day at school tomorrow and be with Daddy at work tomorrow and be with Mommy with whatever it is that she does. Yeah, it was so funny. My wife did not find that funny at all, but it was so
absolutely
great.
not.
And years later, my daughter was trying to explain. She's like, you know, she didn't have a job that she went to, and she just meant like all the stuff that she does. But in her little mind, how she phrased it was priceless. So we're talking about what are the good things about being a parent, the things that you loved.
When you're not parenting anymore and they're grown and you get to go out to dinner with them and they pay for dinner.
I'm looking forward to those days. My kid's still sponging a little bit.
And, you know, there they are. They paid off their cars and they're productive members of society and they've got good jobs. And you just get to sit around and be an adult with them. You're still their mom or dad, but you're not having to parent them, and you get to enjoy them as the adults that you prayed over them that they would be.
Yeah, see, I'm in the 20s with my daughter. She's 24, and she's not quite as far along as Gavin, who's 26 and married and, you know, living on his own. So she's still just out of college and hasn't matured as much as Gavin.
Do you think she'll get there in 2 more years?
No, not a chance in 2 years. She'll get there eventually, and I'll be where Desiree's at. But right now, I'm still having to parent and guide a little bit. But I do like the friendship aspect of it, where I can treat her as an adult now and go, hey, you're an adult. You need to make this decision on your own.
And they'll ask you for advice. But when they don't take it, you just sit back and go, okay.
Yeah, that's the frustrating thing. If you're not going to do what I say, don't ask me. You know? Being the parent of like a little kid, I think has gotten a lot harder than when I was raising my daughter. She's 23 now, and man, I got to tell you, the decisions you have to make and the things you have to monitor and protect your children from today has gotten a lot harder. What do you give them that's still entertaining, but also aligns with your values? You know, we've talked about WayFM being a product that you don't have to filter, but like if you got Netflix in your house, you got to have the filter on.
And even Disney Plus, you have the same problem.
Oh, well, I'll tell you, Disney Plus has been disappointing to me as a parent. and some of the things they've chose to put on there, and like you got to watch it, you know. And that's why it's so nice to have something. If I was raising little kids, I would do PureFlix subscription, man, because you've got content on there that you're not having to filter out. And as a parent, I mean, I know we want to be involved in our kids' lives, but sometimes you need to park them in front of the TV and take 10 minutes to yourself. That's why PureFlix is a great option for families. You got family stuff, obviously. They're even dabbling in some drama. Yes, and PureFlix originals. Like I saw the movie on there, Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters, and I have to tell you,
you cried.
I did. There was 3 times. Not once, 3 times.
I did.
I wept, and I was moved, and it was a great movie. And I think if I was raising my child now, I think PureFlix would be definitely a part of my family's entertainment plan.
So if you'd like to try PureFlix, text PURE, that's PURE, to 91979 to get your 1-week free trial. Faith and family entertainment with no ads on your favorite devices.
Uplifting Way FM. If it's trending, streaming, or starring, Betty Rock's got it. On the Rock Report. Hey, Betty.
Not all men are blessed with what the world would consider are good looks. And that's why...
Don't look at me.
I'm not.
Look at Gavin.
Do not.
And that's why these men, who are not considered that good looking, should be grateful to actor Brad Pitt. The man once voted by America as the hottest man alive has now bestowed upon the more homely his own skin care line.
No, come on.
I hate that I'm
line.
interested.
No, Gavin, no.
I'll give you some more details. So most women know that your beauty regimen starts with healthy looking skin.
Sure.
And Brad Pitt knows this rule applies to men as well. He even posted a video quickly explaining his own daily skincare routine.
I got a morning wash, I do my serum, I do my day cream, and I'm done. I'm out the door. And then at night, I do my little wash. I am committed to the wash. I do my serum, and I do the night cream.
He is
Done.
so less cool now. So less cool.
Why?
Because he's like, I do my serum, and I do my wash, and I do my face cream. Like, no, just go be Brad Pitt, okay? We don't need you doing your face up with lotions and stuff. Just be Brad. Be Brad.
Someone sounds a bit bitter.
No.
Bitter party of one.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that kind of stuff. I probably can't afford it.
Well, you're probably right. So while Brad's skincare line, Le Domaine, is set to be released to the public, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. So I'm going to let you guess, how much do you think the serum alone costs?
Just calling something serum makes it more money. $200.
Okay.
Because I know women's stuff can be like the tiny little things can be,
ridiculous.
like $150.
Yeah.
I think I'm more hopeful that he's looking out for the average man and the average wallet.
Yeah.
$80?
Okay.
Okay. Well, you're about $300 off.
No!
It's $385.
What in the world?
But you're going to need the cream and the cleanser as well. So the cream is $320.
Oh, my God.
And the cleanser is $80.
Anybody that thinks they're going to come out looking like Brad Pitt after they spend that much money is ridiculous.
It's roughly around $800.
Look,
Isn't that worth it?
That's my rent.
Yes, but if you told me, if you said, okay, here are these 3 products, you're going to spend $800 on these, but in the end, you're going to actually look like Brad Pitt, I might do it. But like if they're like your skin might be a smidge softer, there's no way. Absolutely no way. That's insane. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show, and people are judging each other all the time for everything, and we like to help you find out if you're weird or not, okay? And I'll start off with an example. We do Am I Weird Because when I go to the doctor or my wife goes to the doctor, we both go to the same appointment together. Like we did our physicals, for example, recently. And when we went to the doctor's office, we're like, oh, just send us in both at the same time because we have back-to-back appointments. And we'll just both sit there and ask questions.
What's the reason for that?
The reason is because it started because my wife would ask me a million questions about my doctor visits, and I'd be like, I don't even remember. I don't know what they said. Well, are you dying? I don't know. It was not clear.
It's almost like when a child goes to their doctor and the parent needs to come so that they can ask all the questions. So then, you're the child.
Right, exactly. And so then I went with her to one, and because I was like, well, make sure you mention that you're not sleeping really good. She's like, no, I sleep okay. I'm like, no, you don't. You're awake. Like, you always complain that you're always awake. And like, unless you're lying. And so then we're going with the doctor. And he's like, everything good? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, no, she doesn't sleep. She does not sleep. She's lying to you, you know.
I think that's good because it kind of keeps you both. What's the word? Accountable?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you don't think that's weird?
No.
Okay.
I would think that's helpful.
Okay, so that's good. I feel better about that. I feel vindicated. So let's do that with yours. Am I weird because whatever it is in your life that maybe people have said, oh, that's odd, you might find out that you're not odd at all. Gavin or Betty or myself might actually support you and be like, no, I totally get where you're coming from. Or you might want to change that because we all are like, oh, my goodness gracious, that person's nuts, okay? 855-33-WAY-FM is the number. That's how you can always be on the show with us. Love having you on. Am I weird because? 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take yours now. So what do you got?
Okay, well, it's a simple one, but I like to grocery shop, and people don't like to grocery shop anymore.
Oh, I hate it.
Is that weird?
My wife hates it. I love it. I don't think you're weird at all. I enjoy it. And here's where it might be weird for people. I liked it during COVID.
Oh, because no one was there?
Two things. One, no one's there, but it was a challenge. You never knew what was going to be there. And like one day there'd be rice, the next day there wouldn't.
And you got to go out of the house.
Exactly. It got you out of the house, and there was a challenge to it. I liked it. So I don't think you're weird at all, Alicia.
Oh, good. Good. Thank you. Everybody picks their groceries up now, but I still go inside. I even take my kids. They get a free cookie. And, you know, it's a little adventure.
Oh, yeah. I don't have anything delivered to the house anymore except, like, stuff off Amazon. Like, I've never done grocery delivery. I'm like, what am I, Rockefeller? I'm better than everybody over here? I'll go get my own groceries. Sharon, thank you for joining us. It's Am I Weird Because? Very simple. You tell us those things that you think might make you weird or those little idiosyncrasies you have, and we'll let you know if they're weird or not. Go.
So, am I weird because I do not like chocolate and I blow on my ice cream before I eat it?
Okay, the chocolate is a stereotype. Oh, women love chocolate. Now, Betty Rock does love chocolate, but enough of it will make her heart explode.
Why do you say that with a smile on your face?
I'm not 100% sure. And so, like, I get the stereotype, so I don't think that that's weird. Now, the blowing on your ice cream, I'm going to need you to explain that, because right now, if I was in court and they said, is this weird, not having all the facts, I'd be like, absolutely.
I blow my ice cream before I get it because in my mind, when I get ice cream and I look at it, it looks as though you can blow away the cold.
Okay.
That makes sense to me. I know that's not real, but it's a habit that has not gone away. So I blow my ice cream.
Did this start as a little kid?
I would say it started in my teens.
In your teens?
When I was a kid, I don't think I even paid attention, but after that, I just started blowing my ice cream, and then it's the habit that doesn't go away. So, like, even popsicles, I just...
Well, that makes sense.
Blow it.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. Betty Rock has the best job. In addition to just spending lots of time with me, she spends time on all of our socials. So she's constantly looking through the internet and working on things. But every once in a while, she comes across something that's really great that she wants to share, and we call it Betty Rock's online waste of time. So what do you got today, Rock?
This one involves a 6-year-old, and I love how much you love. I know how much you love fail videos,
I
like
love
when
fail
people
videos.
just face plant. Well, this 6-year-old kid, he's on his dirt bike, and his dad's filming him.
Well, I don't love it when 6-year-olds get hurt. What is
Well,
wrong with
I don't
you?
know. I don't know. I didn't know there was an age bracket that you cared about.
Yes,
Where does it fall?
12.
Nice.
12 to what?
Oh, 100. Yeah.
Oh, so you're okay with watching senior citizens face plant?
That's the best kind.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
As long as they get up.
Okay.
Like when they stay down, I'm not fun. That's not funny. But when they get up and they're like, "Oh, that really hurt," but I'm okay.
Wow,
then I'm okay.
Well, so this one involves a 6-year-old. He face plants off of his dirt bike, and his reaction is so great because he takes it like a man.
It was just dude stuff.
That is so great.
It was just dude stuff.
That is adorable.
And
it was just dude stuff.
Nice.
I'm going to use that every time I fall and get hurt or something, or my foot after pickleball is hurting.
I fully support
It
that.
was just dude stuff.
It's just dude stuff.
Pickleball?
Yeah. If
for
me and
sure.
the other 80-year-olds get hurt, we'll just be like, it's just dude stuff.
It was just dude stuff.
That's awesome.
But you can see this video. I've posted it on our Facebook page. If you go to facebook.com/Wally Show, you can see it right there. Well, the podcast is over, but there's still the aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes, as well as connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online and United Faith Mortgage for supporting what we do.